Morning, welcome back to the Feisty Ferret Business. My name is Alexandra Kilworth. This is Pierre and this is Balthazar. We're both out today. Go sit a bit closer actually. Wow. So today's video is going to be discussing the benefits of feeding raw versus feeding kibble. So just for a bit of context, I'm based in the UK. Ferrets are not particularly common, so there's not many ferret-specific kibble brands. Whereas I know that in America, where they're a lot more common, there are more brands of kibble that may be suitable for ferrets, may not be. I'm going to be discussing it as a more broader concept. I'm not going to be talking about any specific brands, but more as a general overall look and not just a UK-centric or US-centric. Okay, let's get down to it. So I asked you guys on Instagram what your opinions were, because for me, I personally feed my boys a mixture. They mostly eat kibble, but they will have raw meat occasionally. This is because I don't have the facilities to have lots of raw meat in my apartment, and they don't eat a lot of it, so when they leave it, it gets mouldy, it goes off, flies, and I'm trying not to make a mess. So kibble is generally easier for me and my boys. However, like I said, I asked you guys on Instagram what your opinions were, and I have a list of what you guys have to say. So most of you said the same thing, which is generally that raw food is preferable. It's usually a lot healthier because ferrets are obligate carnivores. They are meant to be strictly eating meat. So obviously kibble, no matter, even if it's the highest quality, will tend to have other stuff in it. But hey Pierre. But raw is ultimately best, for the healthiest ferrets, I suppose. And it's, it helps clean their teeth as well, because chewing on bones will help keep their teeth clean. I have heard that some people say if you feed kibble, you have to manually brush their teeth. Balthazar. I heard when I first got them that if you feed kibble, you have to manually brush the teeth, but I haven't had to do that. My boys' teeth have been perfectly fine. So take with that what you will, I guess. Every ferret's different. Other things to consider are that ferrets imprint on their food very early on, which is why in America I hear about a lot of Marshall ferrets, which is the type of ferret to get there. I've fed Marshall ferret food, which I've heard is not great quality, and as a result they won't change onto other foods, or they'll only change onto other kibble. So it really depends on the ferret. Some people will raise, some breeders will raise them specifically on raw or kibble or mixed with both. So depending on the type of ferret you got, what if it's from breeder or rescue, you may just have to adapt to what it already has imprinted on and what it prefers, because ferrets are very picky and they will usually refuse to change their food preferences. So that's just something to keep in mind. Some ferrets can't actually, if they have really bad teeth, won't be able to eat kibble because it's too much, they can't chew it or it's too hard for their teeth. So again, take health conditions into consideration. Generally raw feeding is more expensive, just because it's more high quality, you need more of it, and it depends on the brand. Some brands are more expensive than others, but obviously depends on the country, depends on location, but generally it's more expensive. Kibble tends to be a lot easier to access. You can find it in most pet shops. You can find it in most pet shops, most homeware shops. For kibble I get from my boys, I can get from my local everyday store. It has everything really, and it tends to be a lot less messy. They might fling it out the bowl, but it's not going to be as messy as trying to dig out bits of gotten off meat from the corners of the room where they stashed it. So in general, for consensus I got on Instagram and what my personal opinion is that a mixture of both is absolutely fine. Some people will feed kibble all throughout the day, and then at night or once or twice during the day will feed a specific amount of raw food, so that they get that mixture, that combination in, that gets lots of different vitamins and whatnot. It seems to be the healthier option. So if possible, it was recommended to do a mixture of both. If you can't, don't worry, as long as you get high quality kibble. Generally, the more animal protein, the better. Make sure it's as much animal product as possible. If it has starch or vegetable product in like the first few main ingredients, do not get it. There's a couple of different brands in the UK that are recommended, but I'm not going to say any because this is a more general video. I will be doing a UK-centric ferret video about ferret care in the UK because it is very different to the US. But yeah, just make sure that if you are feeding kibble, you get the right kind. Feed raw if you can, even if it's just like getting some mince occasionally or giving them a bit of chicken or whatever. Just it mixes up a little bit. But like I said, some ferrets don't like it, some ferrets picky. So it really depends on the ferret and your circumstances. There is no judgment if you can't, but like ultimately, because they are, obligate carnivores, raw feeding all the way would be like the best option. That's what they do in the wild. But we can't always do these things. So if you have to use kibble as long as they are healthy and doing alright. There's no real issue. There's no judgments about using kibble. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Nice little short one discussing raw versus kibble. And that's about it. I will see you guys in the next video. Leave your thoughts below if you have anything to add. If you use kibble, if you use raw, what's your opinion? Let me know below. Put some brands down below if you've got a brand that you like. So I might mention it in the video. But yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.